Good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Glenn, and welcome to another episode of 30 Ways in 30 Days, Day 10. I'd like to talk to you about why it's so important for you to eat organic. Now, what's interesting is a little play on words here is that we now have to call regular food, that is, food that's the way God intended it to be, organic, while food that is genetically modified and all messed up is considered to be regular food. It's kind of interesting, isn't it? Well, the first genetically modified foods were sold in the U.S. in 1994. But you can see now from looking at this picture that genetically modified foods have ended up in just about everything. Now, there are two big reasons why genetically modified foods are something that you should be avoiding. One is the change in the protein structure of the food itself, which means it no longer reacts with our digestive system the way it's supposed to. But the other, and this actually could be the more consequential problem with genetically modified foods, the foods have been modified so that the crops can be sprayed with Roundup. Now, Roundup, the active ingredient in Roundup is called glyphosate. And what we know now is that glyphosate is more damaging to our intestinal lining than even gluten is. As a matter of fact, one of the things that is sort of being a hot topic in the literature right now is all the problem that people are having with gluten. Gluten, which is from forced hybridized wheat, which happened in 1968, or is it actually due to the Roundup? Roundup destroys the intestinal lining of your gut. When you spray a crop with Roundup, it kills the weeds, it kills the bugs, but it soaks into the crop. Well, if it blows up the stomach of bugs, guess what it does to you? This will show you just the change in about 20 years of how much glyphosate is being used or was being used and is being used now in crops in the United States. There's a lot going on there. You can see that. And you'll also notice that unfortunately it tends to be running down the Mississippi River. Not a good idea. So spray the crop with Roundup. Roundup kills the bugs. Roundup kills the weeds. Roundup soaks into the crop, and now it is in you. Let's just run through a few correlations here. There are a lot of parallels and correlations between the rise of certain diseases and conditions with the increase in the use of Roundup. Look at the increase in autism rates with the increase in the use of glyphosate. Glyphosate breaks down the blood-brain barrier, allowing things into the brain that should not be there. Here's an increase in thyroid cancer. Now, a lot of patients that come to see me have thyroid issues. Look at how thyroid cancer has increased when it's plotted against the use of Roundup and glyphosate in the U.S. corn and soy crops. Here it is for the increase in celiac disease, and I mentioned before, we don't know if the increase in gluten problems is gluten, Roundup, or both. Here we go with deaths due to intestinal infections plotted against the increase in the use of glyphosate on wheat. And here we have end-stage renal disease. Renal, that's kidney disease. And here we have deaths from Parkinson's disease plotted against glyphosate and its use in corn and soy. And what we know now that we didn't know until November of 2015 is that the primary damage from gluten and glyphosate is not in the gut, it's in the brain. 70% of the damage from these products is in your brain. So I'd like to encourage you to eat non-GMO. Is it worth it? Absolutely. Is it more expensive? Yeah, it can be. But there's a link in the PDF download that I sent to you where you can go and get a list of the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen. The Clean 15 are the things that it doesn't seem to matter as much. And the Dirty Dozen are crops and products that it really makes a big difference as to whether or not they're genetically modified. Have a great day today. Didn't mean to scare you. Just want to give you some information so you can make better health choices. And this is Dr. Glenn, 30 Ways in 30 Days. And I'll see you back tomorrow.